Is everybody in? Is everybody in? The show is about to begin.
Welcome to the podcast, concerts that made us, interviews and stories, tales from the bus. We love taking you back to when it all went down. The greatest live shows and the cheering crowd sound. It's concerts that made us, concertsthatmadeus.com.
Hey guys, this is Thomas from Megalodon, and you're listening to Concerts That Made Us.
Empty the stories in your head. Thomas, you're very welcome to Concerts That Made Us.
Thank you for having me, Brian. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for being here. Now, big news. Megalodon are supporting Caligula's horse this August. Tell us all the details.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, we got the call from the Turning Tricks guys. It's Wayne and Duncan, and they hit us up. We actually worked with them previously, back in 2017 with the festival they ran up in Joburg. And yeah, they contacted us. They told us, listen, are we interested in opening for international band? We can't say who yet, but we just want to know if you guys are on board. And yeah, so we said, listen, well, we haven't done that in a while, so why don't we, yeah, let's just take the plunge. And we went for it, and we found out it's Caligula's horse. And our one guitarist, Andrew, he is an absolute fanatic when it comes to Caligula's horse. He's got the vinyls. He's I think he almost passed out when he heard that we're opening for them. So he's very excited. We're very excited. So we're really looking forward to it. It's obviously a big honor to be a part of something like this. Opening for an international band in our home turf. So yeah, we're really looking forward to meeting the guys as well and just having an absolute banger of a show. So yeah, very, very excited.
Yeah, yeah. I have to say now, with him being such a fanatic about the band, will you be able to bring him along? Like, he won't freak out and fanboy over them, will he?
It's probably going to take him like 10 minutes to calm down, like on the day. I know his girlfriend's also like a really big fan. So I think I still have the voice note somewhere where they were just screaming fanatically for like 5 minutes. So probably on the night, we could probably, I don't know, we give him something to calm down, and then he'll probably go like, yeah, go crazy for like 10 minutes, and then we could probably end up playing the show. So yeah.
What are you guys looking forward to most about the show?
So we kind of our history, we kind of took a bit of a break in 2019. So for us, this is kind of like our return this year. So kind of returning with we're playing another show now as well, in July, but this is also like a big show for us. So kind of getting back on the map and the South African metal scene, it is really like cool getting back. But we're just looking forward to just like kind of being back on stage. Because like I said, like the last show we really played was 2019. So it's been a while. So just now we're prepping and getting ready and just having everyone kind of back in the same room is such a joyride. Just kind of reminiscing on all times and stuff, and just getting the focus back and back on the grind to be perfect with what we used to do. Just getting that back now that everyone's a bit older and a bit wiser and a bit uglier. It's kind of fun, just kind of just having fun again, just getting back to that. So we're really looking forward to doing that back on stage. Plus, it's also at a really cool venue that it's a new venue there in Stellenbosch called Daisy Jones. I've been there before. I went to watch actually a Metallica tribute show there, and I was thinking, wow, this venue is amazing. It's got great sound. It's got a great atmosphere. And then when we found out, yeah, well, we're opening for Caligula's horse there, I was like, oh, perfect place to do that. So yeah, so I think the entire package of just being back on stage, opening for international, which we're really big fans of, and at a great venue is just, the best.
I like it. I like it. Now, I'm glad you mentioned it as well. You guys, you took a break from 2020 to 2023. What circumstances led to the break?
So I think everyone in the band kind of just wanted to take like a mini breather, but then everyone, like, we had like personal stuff happen. Like, I started a family. So my wife and I, we had two daughters now. So obviously that's quite demanding. I wanted to focus on that. And we had our one guitarist, Louis. He had a potential job opportunity overseas in Canada, and then that kind of didn't work out. So it was kind of like a back and forth with work with him. Yeah, and I think just everyone just kind of wanted to just focus on like personal lives, um, still play music in their own capacity. And that's kind of when in 2023 we decided, hey man, we miss playing. Like I think everyone is kind of now at a better space mentally and physically as well to just hey, why don't we just dust off the old instruments and just start jamming again?
Yeah, yeah. I like it. I like it. I have to ask now, how are you settling into the band now that you have kids? Because I'd imagine there's not much time or as much time as you used to have.
Yeah, no, it's definitely challenging, especially with young kids. I'm very fortunate that my wife is super supportive. I mean, we've been together for 14 years now. I think, yeah, this December we will be married for 10 years. So we're very supportive of each other's like hobbies. Like she's a big netball player, so I allow her to do that, and I'll look after the kids, and then vice versa. Like she'll take the hold with the kids. She'll look after them where I can then focus on my passion, which is making music and stuff. So it requires a little bit of time management, but it it's definitely possible. So it's there's been some struggles here and there, but luckily everyone is very accommodating of that. They know that I'm not always available at certain times, but I always try and make it. So yeah, and it's been working out.
Brilliant, brilliant. Something else that's happening this year is founding member Ruan Jordan is back in the band. How did that come about?
Yeah, so Ruan, he's like a brother to me. He's back in the band. His departure was in like 2016, 17-ish. But since then we've always stayed friends. Always connected, always talking, etc. And then yeah, about a couple of years ago, um he actually turned his garage into like a home gym. And he started inviting like all his like close circle friends to come and gym with him. And one day he hit me up and he's like, we were actually playing D&D. We're like big D&D players, and everyone there was like, "Hey, when are we gymming?" And I'm like, "You guys gym?" And then they're like, "Yeah, we gym at Ruan's place." So they invited me to join, and I was like, "Cool, great, a little bit of self improvement, why not?" And then from doing that, we kind of started reconnecting in terms of the band. And he said, he thinks like it would be cool if we can maybe reunite, and that kind of that conversation started happening with the rest of the band. And then yeah, everyone just decided, listen, why like just get him back on board, and just have that kind of connection again. And so now it's actually three guitars on stage, which is super powerful actually. So it's really fun having him back in the mix. It really feels like all times. So it's kind of like it's been like a full circle experience for us, especially for me. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, sounds great. Sounds great. I have to ask, something popped into my head there.
Yeah.
It's you guys are coming back. It's you're settling back into things. Is there kind of any, anxiety over the fact that you have such a massive gig so soon after getting back together? Would you prefer to have a few smaller gigs and ease your way into it?
That's a good question. Actually, yes and no. Because we we've I almost want to say we've kind of paid the dues in terms of playing smaller shows and stuff. So in the South African scene, we've there's it's alive, it's flourishing, there's a lot of places to play and expose stuff. But we when initially our idea was just to play the one show. There's a local festival happening, and we wanted to just play that show. But then when Turning Tricks contacted us about this, we just like, well, we can't say no. It would be stupid to say no. So in a sense, yeah, there's a little bit of nerves, like performing with that. But in the same breath, I wouldn't have it any other way. Like it's a big opportunity. And seeing a band that we actually like, we're fans of, is just the extra. So I think it would be stupid to say no. So yeah, there's some nerves, but it's good. It's good nerves.
Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Now, the podcast is called Concerts That Made Us. So I need to ask you some
Mm,
concert related questions.
yeah.
First off, as a concert goer, what concerts would you say have made you?
What concerts have made me? So there has been a couple. I could definitely think of a couple. But growing up in an area in South Africa called Helderberg, there was a couple of like local metal bands that I really looked up to. I was like 14, 15 years old, and they performed at a festival called Metal for Africa. So it's this local organization that really focuses on, showcasing the best of South African metal. We used to go to these shows. They have it biannually. So they have one in the summer called Summerfest, and then during the winter they have their Winterfest. And going to these shows as a kid was such an eye opener. Seeing you know, people like in the mosh pit and headbang and go crazy in bands, just shred on guitar. And it's just the energy and the excitement. It was so enticing. And I just remember being like 15, 16, sitting there and going, this is what I want to do. I'd love to be on this exact stage. And that happened. Like our debut show for Megalodon was at a Summerfest for Metal for Africa. So that kind of like being kind of like involved in that scene, going to those early Metal for Africa Summerfest and Winterfest was really like a fundamental like change in my like DNA in terms of going to like concerts and just experiencing the live music and the energy and the excitement and the buzz. It was just absolutely amazing. And then there's another festival in South Africa called Ramfest, which we also had the opportunity to play. I think it was back in 2013, I think. But they always like try and invite like big metal acts as well, because for a time in South Africa's history, we didn't really get the chance to get like big international acts, especially metal, come to South Africa. So that's always nice seeing. Like when one year the Ramfest brought In Flames, and another year they brought Trivium, which I'm personally a big fan of them. But yeah, besides that, one of the biggest shows like of early memory was there was a my Coke Fest in South Africa. So this like independent like company, I don't know, I can't remember what the company was called, but they brought Metallica to South Africa for the first time. And I think I was 17 years old. And my mom, I bought tickets, and then for my birthday, my mom upgraded the tickets to Golden Circle.
Oh man.
And I just lost it. I was just, oh my gosh, are you telling me I'm gonna watch Metallica like in the Golden Circle? And now I'm like, I think I lost like 10 kilograms of weight just like soiling myself at at that show.
Right.
So that was one. And then yeah, in 2017 we got the chance to go overseas and attend Wacken. And that was just on the next level. So because I've only been to concerts in South Africa. So going to Germany and experiencing Wacken, which is one of the biggest metal festivals in the world, was just an absolute eye opener. It was like almost like a culture shock. So yeah, that was definitely on the bucket list.
I'd say so. Oh man. I just want to jump back to 2012. I'm glad you mentioned Metal for Africa, because you were actually asked to play Metal for Africa, even though you had played no gigs prior.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was also kind of weird, because the norm was to you expect like bands that have been around or have at least gigged to play that show. Um, I think the reason why we got that chance or the opportunity was everyone in the band except me, of course, except me. Um, they were in previous bands that kind of had a name in the metal scene. So I think the organizers, Patrick Davidson, they knew everyone in the band. They knew what they are capable of. So I think they definitely knew that, listen, these guys, they kind of know what they're doing. So it wouldn't be a bad idea to put them on the bill. And yeah, that was for me, that was just an amazing opportunity because for like I said earlier now, that was like a dream of me just to be on that stage. And yeah, we debuted at Summerfest and it was just yeah, an absolutely amazing experience.
Say so, I'd say so. When things like that happens in the early days, it must kind of confirm that you're on the right track and that the band is actually going to go places, does it?
Yeah, no, definitely. It definitely, and the reception like amplified that. People, because prior to that, we released like a bunch of singles online, and I just remember like people saying, "Yeah, but this is too technical. They won't be able to pull it off live," and because that was like one of our like in the bedroom recordings, like you had like digital drums and stuff, and people were just like very hesitant, like, yeah, they won't be able to do this live. And then when we actually pull it off, you know, people were like really amped and people were excited for us, and we could feel that energy. So it was really cool just having that kind of reception and just going, all right, cool, we got the momentum now. Let's record an album. Let's start playing more. And yeah, every time we played after that, it just became um, an event after an event where people attended. They wanted to come out. They wanted to come watch the band and the other bands that supported us. And it was just, yeah, I couldn't ask for like a better start to a band career.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Now, for any listeners that haven't been lucky enough to catch one of your gigs, what exactly are they like? Give us the full experience if you can.
Um, don't stand with a full drink in front of the stage. That's the first warning I'll say. Because the people that have watched us and that are fans, they are absolutely fanatic. I think the moment we start playing, there's a mosh pit. It's relentless. Like I'm scared of our fans. Like they, they're crazy. They are next level. So, yeah. We definitely. I always like to say, I'm like the conductor of the energy. We on stage, we focus on ourselves in terms of, we have fun. We like the music we play. So we start jamming, we start enjoying it, we get like absorbed by the music. And then that energy spills over into the crowd. And when we see they reciprocate, it's just this feedback loop of just raw, intense energy and people just jamming and just like absolutely losing it. And that just continues nonstop. So it's like a tank that just goes. And the problem that's solved with the tank, caused by a tank, could be solved by a tank. So you got to just keep tanking on. So like I said, don't stand with a full drink in the front because you are going to lose it. um yeah, and use it, there's a lot of headbanging. Like the next, like, I mean, we always have some guy send us a photo the next day. Oh, look at my bruises and look at my broken arm and look at that. So yeah, it's high velocity, high energy, raw, intense, and yeah, just a lot of fun.
Sounds like a hell of a time.
Oh
Now,
yeah.
when it comes to your fans and the audience, is there any memorable interactions that stick in your mind from over the years?
uh yeah, there's been a couple. One of my favorites. Uh, I used to work at a bar. I was a bartender at a place called Buckley's in Bowel, and we used to play there quite a lot. Because everyone knew, like, I was in the band, and it was just kind of easy, organizing shows then. So we there was this like really low hanging chandelier kind of contraption above like the stage area or on the where the audience would be standing, right? And we had a show there. There were like four other bands playing, and it was just like, yeah, again, one of those nights, just the place was packed, was full. And we started playing, and this one guy in the crowd, he just bought a Megalodon shirt, and he started taking it off and like swinging it around in the air, but then it caught the chandelier got stuck in the chandelier. So instead of like leaving the shirt, this guy's like tugging on the shirt. And I'm standing on stage looking at this going, this looks like a death clock moment where this chandelier is going to like, it's going to break off and it's probably going to crush like the entire crowd. And this guy just started just like yanking this thing relentlessly. Eventually, like other people saw him, so people started picking him up like on their shoulders, so that you can like, and then like the next moment there were like 4 or 5 people hanging on this thing. I'm like, this thing is gonna break. Luckily it didn't. It kept that one little chain was not the weakest link, and everyone was safe. So that, and then another one that comes to mind. We did our first tour up to Johannesburg, and the last show we played, funny story actually. It was actually double booked by another really like well-known South African band called Fokol Polisikar. And long story short, we actually found a middle ground where we said, listen, instead of like one of the bands leaving, why don't we just play together? And they are more of like an alternative punk band, and like we're very like extreme like metal. So I was very nervous thinking, oh, are we going to work with this crowd, And when we got to the venue, no, I saw people with like Slipknot shirts and piercings. I'm like, no, we're fine. And we played the show, and I just remember like the people just lost it. Like there was like the security railing that that they just shook it and it almost broke. And I was not expecting that type of reception. Afterwards, this really, really big guy, he's like probably twice my size, like he just like walks up to me and he just goes, I actually just came for Fokol Polisikar, but now I'm a big fan, man. And he's like, you're gonna stand here now and we're gonna take a photo. And like he just like almost crushed me in the process. But I just thought he was gonna fight me, I thought he was angry, and he's like, no, I just want a photo, and I was just and then another girl at that same show swallowed one of the guitarist picks.
Gosh.
So I was just like, wow, this split. We definitely need to come back. This place is crazy.
Oh man. Oh, wild, wild. Now, as you've mentioned, you've played just about every major metal gig there is in South Africa. You guys have also played Wacken in Germany. Is there a performance that, is the high point? It couldn't have got any better.
Ironically enough, one of the shows that really stands out to me is the we actually got invited to play Metal for Africa's Winterfest right before we left for Germany, and that was kind of also like our second album's like kind of launch party. And I just remember, obviously, the focus was going to be on Wacken. We need to prep for Wacken, and then that was just like a last little hoorah before we left. And that show actually turned out to be probably one of the tightest shows we've ever played, because drilling for Wacken and preparing for Wacken and the competition that we played to go to Wacken was intense. Writing the album and performing and practicing, etc. So for us, it was like, oh, we're just quickly going to play the show and then we go to Wacken. And then that show actually just turned out to be an absolute masterpiece, in my opinion. Like the crowd reception, it felt like everyone was there to kind of send us off and wish us the best for Wacken. So I know, you're supposed to say on paper, Wacken was the best show we ever played. But in my opinion, no, like the home soil and the home advantage we had at Winterfest, that in 2017 was, memorable.
I like it. I like it. If every gig could be like that, it'd be perfect, wouldn't it?
Oh, that'd be amazing.
We've heard the good. We need to hear the bad. Is there a gig where everything went wrong, and how did you guys overcome
it? Yeah, there's been a couple of stinkers.
Right.
We we played. There's actually on my hometown there was a venue there. And we played this venue. I don't want to say names now, but we played the venue there, and I just remember like the sound guy just I don't know if he was on drugs or he was confused or he escaped a mental institution. I'm not sure what the case, but he definitely didn't know what he was doing. So the frustration of setting up sound and you're kind of used to a certain standard of people kind of know what they're doing, and this guy just didn't know what he was doing. So that was super frustrating. And then the sound would like just cut out like halfway through a song, and it was just super messy. And I could see the guys on stage were like getting like, irritated and stuff. So, I always say I'm kind of like the mediator in the band. So I just went, guys, you know what? Just have fun. Like don't take it too seriously. Like this guy's obviously not taking it seriously, so neither should we. Just have fun with it. And everyone there that were at the show, they had a blast. So regardless of the technical side of it, that was fun. But another one that pops up to mind is the actual performance we played prior to winning the Wacken Metal Battle in 2017. We played at the finals in Pretoria, and we were called on stage. We needed to do our set, and our guitarist Andrew, his guitar didn't make a sound. It didn't work,
Oh man.
and it turns out his battery for his pickup was dead. And
Oh,
that's like the last thing you think of. So I'm thinking, out of all the places and of all times, why would this happen right now at this super pivotal moment? Um, Luckily we made a plan and it worked and we played the show. But that was a close call, So yeah, but you always try and overcome issues. There will always be issues. And you always try and make the best of it, no matter what. Because you remember at the end of the day, you're there to entertain. So you just got to keep a straight face and just, um, go with the punches.
exactly. Exactly. Take the good with the bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, before we dive into the last couple of questions, future plans. We've heard about the gigs. When can we expect new music, or is there anything else that you can share with us?
Yeah. So the idea for this year was to just get these two, maybe a third show out. We're still kind of in the planning with the band to maybe play a show at the end of the year. But I can't make any promises there. But soon after the Caligula's horse show, we're kind of gonna just like settle down and start recording and working on new material. But this time around, we don't want to like put like a time limit on it and say, hey, you guys can expect this and this and that. Um, we want to kind of let it stir and listen. If this doesn't work, we scrap it and then we go from there. So I've written, I think, like 5, 6 songs of like lyrical content, and there are some like new songs that we've been working on. They are like raw demos. So yeah, we are in the plan to actually start recording those songs, and then if things go well, maybe we can release some of those songs early next year. But yeah, the big plan is to just now focus on the 2 shows coming up, and then yeah, just start working on new material.
I like it. I like it. The new material, will it be in a direction we're used to, or are you guys going to veer off in other directions, or what?
Yeah, good question. I think we took what we did with the first 2 albums, because the first album was very, people call us South Africa's Meshuggah, which it was. I mean, I'll be lying if I said they weren't an influence for that. But then the second album was definitely more on the progressive side of things. So I think we want to take those 2 concepts and just kind of throw it out of the window. Louis kind of said it best. He said he actually wanted to stop listening to metal for a while and just write and not be influenced by anything that's popular now, that's new now. Don't follow any trends. Just write that works for us. So we've always said that there needs to be 2 components in a Megalodon song. It needs to groove and it needs to hate, like have that raw intensity. So as long as those 2 components are there, that qualifies for a Megalodon song. I mean, uh, I have to say the one song that we have been working on now is definitely slower than we're normally used to. Um, uh, but it's definitely more intense. So yeah, that's all I can say.
Right. Right. Bring on next year. So,
Yeah.
right. We'll dive into the last couple of questions. These are a few random fun ones, but I'm looking forward to your answers. First
Okay.
off, what are you currently obsessed with besides the band?
Oh, very easy. I'm a big gamer, and I'm a massive indie game like freak. I love indie games. Nothing wrong with AAA games, but there's a game that came out like back in 2015 called Darkest Dungeon. It's
Hmm.
it's just a love letter to like all things Lovecraftian and like RNG roguelite games. The sequel just launched on console now this Monday, this past week. So I've been absolutely obsessed with it. So it's literally when my kids go to bed, uh, I love my wife, but that's what I'm doing. I'm playing Darkest Dungeon 2.
Right, right. Don't get too wrapped up in it now and forget about the band.
No, 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 no. It's actually a good inspiration, actually. So yeah.
Right, right. I like it. I like it. The next one, it's a bit of an odd one. If you had to spend 24 hours locked in a room with any musician from history, who would it be?
Oh, Dimebag Darrell. Easy. Dimebag Darrell. I'm obsessed with Pantera. Just to pick his brain, and he's one of the reasons why I also play guitar on the side. So he was when I was a kid, um, he was a massive influence, and he was one of the reasons why I picked up the guitar in the first place. So just to sit with him, have a couple of bottles of Jägermeister with him, oh man, what would I give? That'd be great.
Oh yeah, the ultimate, the ultimate. He
The
always seemed like
ultimate.
he was such a down to earth, cool guy as well. Like even take the fame and everything away, he just seems like he'd be great to hang out with.
Exactly, right? So besides talking guitar, I would just talk life, and
Hmm.
just hang out with the guy, have a couple of beers. I know he was a big Jägermeister guy, so that would be great. So yeah, he just seemed like a fun guy. So yeah, definitely Dimebag Darrell.
I like it. I like it. The final one. What is your go-to album? An album you constantly revisit.
Oh, constantly revisit. Sure, I'm a bit of a polyamorous guy, right? I listen to a bunch of different stuff. It's not just metal, but constantly go to album. Sure. This is gonna be like a hot take though. I mentioned earlier I'm a big like Trivium fan. Um, I would probably say Ascendancy or Shogun. Like you get different type of Trivium fans, but yeah, if I had to pick one, like go back to it constantly. No, I'm gonna say Shogun. Shogun from Trivium. Their third album. That album was such a. It came. It came out in a time of my life where I was just obsessed with that album. That's all I listened to, and I remember still like months after the album came out, people were like, "Are you still listening to that?" I'm like, "Yeah," and like to this day, I will still revisit that album. So yeah, Shogun.
Like it. Great choice. Great choice. Thomas, listen, this has been an absolute blast now. Thanks a million.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you for having me, and thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. Thanks so much.
I am a
guys. I really hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. And if you're interested in signing up to Band Builder Academy, use the link in the show notes below and enter the code CONCERTS and you'll receive 10% off. So, until next time, keep rocking. Hey, what are you guys still doing here? The show's over. It's over. You can go home. Go on. We'll see you next time. We'll be here. Bye.